So, now we're going to be talking about story presentations, literary devices, the giving tree, and you. What is you the subject of? What type of sentence is that? Can't hear you unless your hands are up. Alan. What sort of sentence is that when that's the subject?
It's a command.
Well, yeah, right. It's an imperative sentence, right? Gave itself away? Oh, it's over there. Excellent. Thank you. I can't understand when everybody's talking. If you could please be respectful of speaking those. Excellent. So we're going to briefly talk about stories. So how are stories presented? How do you take in stories? Nick, could you do me a favor and sit over there, please? So you're not tempted to talk to Ricky. So Alan, how are stories presented? Give me an example of how you might have a story presented to you.
You could present a story kind of like by giving the main idea but with details.
Right, that's a good point. I'm thinking a little less specific. Like, what sort of senses do we, like, what's a sense that we would use? What sort of story?
Stories are presented usually in all presented like sight.
So what's a way that what's a type of story presentation that we see? Books. All right. What about another one that we see? Picture book. What's another one we might see? Articles. Another one we see. Alan, what we might see? Film. Cool. What's a way that we take in a story could be presented that we hear? Audiobooks. Cool. Kyle? Audio tape, sure. Barry? Out loud, right? I could read to you. I could also just tell you a story, right? Perry and I, we were running through the jungle. Some tigers were after us. It was crazy, right? That was a story that we just told, right? That's a way to get the stories. This is back. Could you move further away? Thank you. So these different presentation types, what do you get out of that? Why is a movie different from, say, an audiobook?
A movie is different from an audiobook because an audiobook you just listen to, but in a film you have to watch and listen to it to actually retain the entire story.
Okay, cool. Ian, do you have another difference?
In a video where it has a picture along with the sound and everything, but like an audiobook will have just the sound. You have to picture it in your own head.
Right, you have to picture in your own head, right? So different types of presentations give you certain information and also allow you to make your own connection. So like if I'm telling you a story, that's different from hearing a story, right? I'm telling the story of Perry and I running through the jungle differently than maybe the audiobook version of Perry and I running through the jungle might be. Excellent. So if we can stop talking, please, that would be excellent. So who has read or is familiar with the Giving Tree? So how is the Giving Tree presented? In a book. And how does the Giving Tree, in picture books specifically, Nick, can you sit in the back of the room, please? You're still talking to Ricky. It's not very respectful to the rest of us. So how are picture books usually shared? Alan? Through a picture, sure.
Like an illustration.
Through an illustration, awesome. And Brandon, do you have another way they're usually shared?
Yeah, they talk and share pictures.
Right, so there's usually picture books, there's a presentation to them, right? I would read you the Giving Tree and I would hold the book out so you can see it and read the dialogue to you, right? You probably saw that a lot when you were in elementary school. Your teacher would read to you, you see pictures. Do you have you read the kindergartners, right? Oh, you read this? Oh, perfect. So that's sort of a part of the presentation that comes along specifically with picture books, right? play a movie for you and read the movie subtitles, right? You just watch the movie. So that's a difference in the presentation between picture books and other sorts of presentations. So, got that problem. Well, first we're going to read the Giving Tree together. We are. And if we could not talk, sorry, I'm having a computer issue. All right, so here we have the Giving Tree. And while we're reading this together, I want us to think about the three literary devices we talked about. What was personification again? And what about rhythm? And symbolism? All right, so we want to think of those three things. And we also want to think about how the presentation looks. So let's start with this. What sort of page is this? Mina? Title page. Where have you heard the word title page in, say, past 24 hours? Alan?
Well, like in past 24 hours,
Yeah, maybe in this room.
I was like reading
Okay. Is there someone in this room who said the word title page to you, Mr. Consor? And what context was he using the title page? What assignment was he talking about?
the picture book assignment.
The picture book. Awesome. So if we are picture book authors, which everyone here should be, we want to look at this, right? This is our title page. We have our author, the title, and then we have sort of a hint as to what the story may be about, right? So what do we know about the Giving Tree? The tree that gives hope. And what does this sort of look like? Like that a person might do, or the
It looks like someone's like reaching their arm out, kind of.
reaching their arm out, exactly. Jenna, could you sit a little further back? I keep hearing your voice. Right. So, and what is that when we have the tree doing something with a human-like quality? Feel free to, yeah, there we go. Lorenzo's got it, right? Personification. Awesome. So, once there was a tree. What can someone tell me about how this page is laid out? What's interesting about it? Kyla.
It's not really a sentence. It just says that once there was a tree and a tree says leaf. It's like, you want to read what about the tree? And has the dot, dot, dot.
Awesome. Very interesting. Great. Strong lead. We want to know what's the deal with this tree. Ricky, do you have a question, or are you just not paying attention? Not paying attention, right? It's not very polite to do that. And she loved a little boy. So what do we see in this frame? What's interesting about this frame? Robert.
Is this book coming up to the side?
Right. So we're, as an audience, we're thinking, who does this book belong to? Who is this little boy? Why does this tree love a little boy, right? I can't understand you when you're calling out. Do you have a question? Something you want to share?
No.
No? Okay. Every day, the little boy would come. So what do we see in this picture that's interesting? Okay, so it's showing the repetition of the boy coming to the tree, right? What do we notice about the tree? Right, it's embracing the boy. Awesome. And what is that? What sort of hand gesture would we show for what the tree is doing? Personification. Right, Ian? Personification? Yeah. And he would gather leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. So you can see the little boy looking like Caesar, with a crown of leaves around his head. And what's the tree doing? Alan?
The tree is kind of like moving its leaves in sort of like an arch, kind of like
Yeah, an archway. Maybe, you know, maybe have the king pass through. Yeah, awesome. climb up the trunk. What's interesting about this illustration?
There's a bunch of hands and feet going up the tree.
Right, so we get the sense of the boy climbing up the tree without actually having the animation of a boy climbing the tree, right? And he swings from her branches. Same thing, so we see the boy's feet. Multiple feet showing the action of the boy. And eat apples. And they will play hide and go seek. Someone show me the hand gesture for what the tree is doing right here. Yeah, sonification. Right, Noah? Sonification. When he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. See, we're getting, what's disease? What sort of detail is that? Right, I'm thinking of a specific word, starts with an S, some kind of detail. Count? Has to do with your senses.
But I really think the tree is like in the shape of like an umbrella.
Oh yeah, excellent. But what sort of detail am I looking for? Snoring detail? Sensory detail, right? So it's the sensory detail isn't in the actual text, it's in the picture, where we get the idea of a little boy going, snoring under the tree that's under an umbrella, as Callan pointed out. And the boy loved the tree. So we see the tree hugging the boy back. Very much. And the tree was happy. And what do we see on the base of the tree? What's that heart a symbol for?
Kind of like he loves the tree.
Right. So we're seeing symbolism. What was symbolism again? Yeah, what was symbolism? Cool. All right. Well, cool use of symbolism there. The time went by. So what do we see now? What's different?
The boy's older.
Boy's older. Right. And the boy grew older. What do we see that's different now about the tree and who's in the picture?
Well, instead of saying he just me, I said about first heart, the lower heart, after me plus one heart.
Sure. And who else is at the tree that wasn't there before?
Like maybe a friend.
Sure, a friend. So the boy, probably a friend he's in love with, right? There's a heart there. So the boy's getting older. And the tree was often alone. So what sort of mood is the tree showing here with its sonification? What is the branches doing? Right, so it's sort of, kind of bumming, right? The boy left it alone. Poor tree. All right, so what's different about this frame that he framed earlier? I'm thinking specifically of the text. What's different about the text?
It is green, like, when it says the tree is talking, the thing is that, it sort of represents that, like, the tree is, vivid or something like that, because it's a piece of nature.
Interesting. That's actually not in the book. Whoever did this slideshow decided to make it green, but that's an excellent point. I like your insight about it being vivid. Alan, what else is different?
It's the first time that in the text there's actually dialogue.
Awesome. Now there's dialogue, right? And just what about the amount of text?
There's, like, more sentences in there.
Right. And why might there be more sentences with the boy as the boy gets older? Tyler?
Because it's, he's starting to, like,
Okay, so the tree is trying to talk him into being back. What about being older would allow the boy to have more to say? Or why would there be more dialogue as you get older?
because, like, now that he's older, he can talk more.
Right. So when you were a little kid talking to trees, you probably didn't have as much thing to say. You weren't able to articulate your ideas as well. And now he's a little bit older, probably about your guys' age. So let's see. Then one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come on up and climb my trunk and swing from my branches and eat apples and play in the shade and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" when you get home today, maybe go to your parents before you ask them for some money. I'm sorry, said the tree, but I have no money. I only have leaves and apples. Take my apples forward, sell them in the city, and then you will have more money to be happy. So what's the apple representing here? What's the symbol for? Yeah, it's a symbol for money. It's a way that the boy can make money off what the tree can offer. And so the boy climbed up the tree, gathered her apples, and carried them away. The tree was happy. Have we noticed any sort of repetition so far, any rhythm? What sentence have we heard several times?
And the tree was happy.
The tree was happy. Excellent.
And also, it's like every word in a row. It's like, and so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and
Excellent.
threw them away,
Yeah.
and the tree was happy.
Right. And what about, and if the layout was different, right, it wouldn't have said that. If this was all one long line of text, we wouldn't have picked up on that excellent point that Kyle just made, right? The and. So, again, when you're working on your books, you want to be mindful of these things. You can emphasize certain words by the way you construct your layout. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And one day, the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy. She said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." So what do we notice about the boy now?
He's not a boy anymore.
Not a boy. What sort of literary device might that be that's we're calling him a boy, but he's no longer a boy? Irony. Excellent. I'm too busy to climb trees, said the boy. I want a house to keep me warm, he said. I want a wife and I want children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house? I have no house, said the tree. The forest is my house. You may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy. And the boy cut off the branches and carried them away to build his house. So what sort of literary device might we see in this picture? Alan?
Hyperbole.
Not kind of like hyperbole. Hyperbole. Nailed it. It's totally overblown that this guy can carry all these branches, right? Look, his hand ends here, and he's carrying branches this far out, right? That's not hyperbole in how we've seen it so far with writing. But you can also have hyperbole in your pictures. If you really want to emphasize something, I had a headache and my head felt this big, and you want to draw a huge head, that would show that that's how you felt, right? That's hyperbole in your drawing. The tree was happy, and all right. We can focus again. And what is this? Alan? This word, this phrase right here?
This is a repetition.
Repetition, right? And the tree was happy. And why would this statement be ironic? Brandon?
Because he had no branches.
Right, he has no branches and the boy is gone, right? But the boy stayed away for a long time. And when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. So what might this drawing be another example of?
I think it might also be like hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Excellent, right? How many old men do you know that carry entire trees at a time? I can't hear you unless you raise your hand. Ian?
I think that they kind of make like since the old man can carry a tree, like it's smushing down.
Right. So that's another instance of hyperbole, right? That the old man in this drawing is basically legs and a hand.